Step into the unknown with the shadow frequency and your host, Matt Wilson, as he takes you where the shadows hum.
Come on, you. Open this thing. Okay, hang on. Give me a second. Tonight's episode file has to be in here somewhere. Oh, good grief, Matt. Did you seriously shove a rubber chicken in here?
Don't look at me. That's probably left over from Chris's Halloween prank kit.
Uh-huh. Socks, an old cassette tape labeled Do Not Play. And oh great, there's a spider in here again and it's humming.
Check the next drawer down. Humming? As in, like, singing?
No, more like low-level chanting, kind of Gregorian, but with extra legs.
Well, at least it has taste.
Anyway, here it is. Tonight's episode file, right between the creepy spider choir and a journal that's whispering my name. Totally normal.
Just another day at the Shadow Frequency Studio.
Exactly, and with that, let's get into tonight's case. Welcome to the Shadow Frequency, episode 185, where we dive into the eerie unknown that lurks just beyond the veil. I'm Juniper, your producer, pulling dusty files from the archives of the strange and unsettling. Tonight, we're venturing deep into Louisiana's Honey Island Swamp, a place where the air hangs heavy with secrets and something monstrous is said to roam. The Honey Island Swamp Monster, a 7-foot gray-haired beast with glowing eyes, has haunted local lore for decades. Its origins tangled in Native American myths and whispers of a long-ago circus-trained craft. Matt, you ready to wade into this murky mystery?
Oh, Juniper, you know I'm itching to get lost in those swamps.
Mm-hmm.
This thing sounds like it crawled straight out of a nightmare.
Right.
Glowing eyes, webbed feet, and a stench that could wake the dead. You sure you didn't pick this file just to creep me out?
Maybe I did, Matt. Maybe I did. But I've got a feeling this one is going to stick with our listeners long after the lights go out. So take it away and guide us into the shadows of the Honey Island Swamp.
Thanks, Juniper, for digging this gem out of that file cabinet. I can almost smell the swamp gas just flipping through these pages. All right, let's dive into the murky waters of the Honey Island Swamp Monster, a creature that's been haunting the bayous of St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana for generations. Picture this, a vast untamed wilderness, 70,000 acres of cypress trees draped in Spanish moss, their roots sinking into the dark, still waters. Alligators glide silently, and the air hums with the buzz of insects. It's a place where the line between reality and myth blurs, where the shadows seem to move on their own. This is the Honey Island Swamp, and it's home to a creature that locals call the Cajun Sasquatch, La Bête Noire, or simply the Swamp Monster. La Bête Noire. Oh, that's a pretty cool sound. Let's find out. Let's look this up here real quick. See what this actually means. The Black Beast, or a dreaded thing or nemesis. There you go. Well, I guess that fits, doesn't it? 7 feet tall, covered in matted gray hair with piercing yellow or red eyes that glow in the dark. This thing is said to leave a trail of fear and a foul odor wherever it goes. The first documented sighting came in 1963 when Harlan Ford, a retired air traffic controller and wildlife photographer, was scouting for hunting spots with his friend Billy Mills. Deep in the swamp, they stumbled into a clearing and locked eyes with something straight out of a horror story. Ford described a towering ape-like figure, its body cloaked in shaggy hair, staring at them with eyes that burned like embers. Before they could process it, the creature vanished into the underbrush, leaving behind strange webbed footprints with 4 toes, unlike any primate known to science. Ford later returned to cast those prints, and let me tell you, those casts are chilling. They're not human, not animal, but something other. By 1974, Ford and Mills were back in the swamp, this time on a duck hunting trip. What they found was even more disturbing. Scattered across their path were the carcasses of wild boars, their throats slashed, spines broken, as if something with immense strength had torn them apart. Nearby, they found more of those eerie webbed footprints. Ford was convinced this was the work of the creature he'd seen years before. He even claimed to have captured it on Super 8 film, though the footage, grainy and fleeting, only surfaced after his death in 1980, found by his granddaughter, Dana Holyfield. That film, now stored at the Abita Mystery House, shows a hulking figure moving through the trees, its form just vague enough to make your skin crawl. But the story gets stranger when you dig into the origins. Local lore ties the creature to Native American tales of the Latish, a human-like being raised by alligators after being abandoned in the swamp. The Choctaw and Akalapisa tribes spoke of this meat-eating entity, half man, half beast, living both in water and on land. Then there's the Cajun twist. Some call it the Lucaroo, a werewolf-like figure stalking the bayous. But the most tantalizing tale points to a circus train wreck near the Pearl River in the early 20th century. According to the legend, a train carrying exotic animals, chimpanzees, orangutans, maybe even gorillas, derailed, and the survivors fled into the swamp. Over decades, they adapted to the harsh environment, their descendants becoming something new, something monstrous, with webbed feet suited for the watery terrain. Imagine it, a troop of primates lost in a world of mud and moss, evolving in isolation. Their eyes glow in the moonlight, their bodies grow larger, stronger, stranger. The swamp is a perfect hiding place, remote, untouched, a labyrinth where even the bravest hunters hesitate to tread. And the stories don't stop with Ford. Local fishermen and swamp tour guides have reported sightings for decades. One man, Ted Williams, claimed to have seen multiple creatures, describing them as almost gentle, avoiding harm unless provoked. But the dead boars, the trashed fishing camps, and that lingering stench tell a different story. The Honey Island swamp monster isn't just a creature, it's a presence. It's the rustle in the bushes when you're alone, the splash in the water when no one's there. It's the feeling that something ancient, something unknowable, is watching from the shadows. Whether it's a lost child raised by gators, a werewolf born of Cajun curses, or the twisted legacy of a circus gone wrong, this thing has woven itself into the soul of Louisiana's folklore. Phew, Juniper, this one's got my pulse racing. I mean, glowing eyes, webbed feet, and a circus train crash. It's like the swamp cooked up its own horror movie. What do you make of this thing so far?
Matt, I'm half expecting to hear those webbed feet slapping toward me in the dark.
Right.
That circus story is wild. Like, did those chimps just decide to become swamp kings? I'm hooked. Take us deeper into the bayou, will ya?
Oh, you got it, Juniper. Let's keep peeling back the layers of this swampy enigma, but first, let's take a quick break.
All right, listeners, we're halfway through episode 185, but I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a chill just thinking about those glowing eyes in the Honey Island swamp. Is this creature a lost primate, a cursed spirit, or something we can't even comprehend? You're probably wondering the same thing, staring into the dark like I am right now. Stick around because Matt's got more to unravel, including a twist that might make you question what's really out there. But first, let's hear from Chris Beach about where you can find the shadow frequency.
Cheers, Juniper. If the shadows have drawn you in, stay a while. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, or wherever you tune in to your favorite podcasts. Dive deeper at shadowfrequencypodcast.com. There, you can explore our complete episode archive, check out our Shadow blog for deeper dives into each case, snag some exclusive merch, or even help support the show by buying us a coffee. And here's something fun. Leave us a voicemail on the site and tell us where in the world you're listening from. You just might hear yourself on the next episode. Take it away, Juniper.
Thanks, Chris. Now it's time for our favorite part, the mailbag, where we dive into your thoughts and stories. I'm firing up the spectral cosmic message materializer. Hang on, let me flip these old switches here. There we go. All right, it's humming, it's glowing, and bam! Here's today's message. Let's see what we've got in the ethereal envelope. Okay, listeners, we've got a gem today from Megan in Spokane. She writes, "Hi, Matt and Juniper. I just wanted to let you both know how much your podcast has become a part of my nightly routine. I usually put on an episode while I'm winding down, and honestly, sometimes it doesn't help me sleep because I end up staring into the dark, wondering if something's watching me. Thanks for that, by the way. One of my favorite episodes was when you covered the Mothman sightings. It reminded me of the stories my grandfather used to tell about strange things he saw while driving truck routes through the Appalachians. He always swore there were things on the roadside that weren't animals he recognized. Anyway, keep doing what you're doing and make the unexplained feel just a little more real. I love the mix of spooky stories and your humor. Oh, and Juniper, digging through the file cabinet, that always cracks me up. Can't wait for the next one. Sincerely, Megan from Spokane. Oh, Megan, you're killing me with this. I love that we're keeping you up at night. Sorry, not sorry. And those roadside creatures your granddad saw, that's the kind of story that makes my skin prickle. Maybe we need to dig into Appalachian mysteries next. Keep those stories coming, folks. Drop us a line at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. All right, Matt, take us back into the swamp for the second half.
Thanks, Juniper, and a big shout out to Megan for that awesome message. All right, let's wade back into the Honey Island swamp, where the air is thick with mystery and the shadows hold secrets. We left off with tales of a 7-foot creature, gray hair matted with swamp muck, eyes glowing like lanterns, and a stench that could make you gag from across the bayou. But what makes this creature so enduring? Let's explore the stories, the evidence, and yes, a flicker of doubt that might just keep us grounded. The Honey Island swamp monster isn't just a modern myth. Its roots run deep, tangled in the folklore of the Choctaw and the Kalapisa tribes who called this land home long before European settlers arrived. They spoke of the Latish, a child abandoned in the swamp, raised by alligators into something neither human nor beast. The Cajuns added their own spin, calling it the Lucaroo, tying it to werewolf legends that howl through Louisiana's nights. These stories aren't just campfire tales, they're woven into the cultural fabric of the region, passed down through generations like a warning. Don't wander too far into the swamp. Then there's that circus train wreck story. The idea that a derailed train in the early 1900s spilled chimpanzees or gorillas into the Pearl River's murky waters is the kind of wild tale that sticks with you. Picture it, a train car splintered open, exotic animals fleeing into the night, their eyes reflecting the moonlight as they vanish into the cypress maze. Over decades they adapt, their bodies changing to suit the swamp, maybe even developing those webbed four-toed feet found in Cass. It's a compelling origin, one that feels like it could explain the unexplainable. Dana Holyfield, Harlan Ford's granddaughter, has kept this legend alive, sharing her grandfather's Super 8 footage and plaster casts at places like the Abita Mystery House. She's adamant something is out there, and her grandfather saw it. But the swamp itself is a character in this story. Spanning 70,000 acres, it's one of the least disturbed wetlands in the U.S., a place where alligators, wild boars, and even Florida panthers roam. It's easy to imagine something hiding in those dense, shadowy thickets, where the water's so still it mirrors the stars. Swamp tour guides lean into this, regaling visitors with tales of glowing eyes and trashed fishing camps. Some claim to have heard guttural growls or even seen ripples in the water that no alligator could make. The swamp's otherworldly vibe, part earthly, part ethereal, fuels the belief that something unnatural could thrive there. Now let's pause for a moment and consider a skeptical angle. The circus train story, as juicy as it is, has a problem. There's no record of such a crash. A website documenting U.S. circus train wrecks back to 1877, circusesandsideshows.com, shows no evidence in a derailment in Louisiana. Could this be a case of folklore filling in the gaps? A story born to explain strange sightings? Maybe those monsters were just escaped primates that locals unfamiliar with such animals spun into something more sinister. Or maybe, as some suggest, Harlan Ford and his buddies crafted the tale to keep their hunting grounds clear. It's a possibility we can't ignore, even if it doesn't dim the eerie glow of those yellow eyes. Still, the evidence, however shaky, keeps the legend alive. Those plaster casts with their odd webbed toes don't match any known animal. The Super 8 footage, grainy as it is, shows something moving through the trees that doesn't look human, and the stories keep coming. In 2019, an episode of America Unearthed explored possible sightings, with host Scott Walter suggesting the creature's stench might be swamp gas, methane from decaying plants. But even he couldn't dismiss the footprints or the fear in witnesses' voices. The Honey Island swamp monster has even crept into pop culture. From The Secret Saturdays to Monster High, its myth growing larger with each retelling. What's the truth? Is this a surviving prehistoric creature, a mutated circus escapee, or a paranormal entity tied to the swamp's ancient spirits? The Honey Island swamp doesn't give up its secrets easily. It's a place where the line between the natural and the supernatural blurs, where every splash, every shadow could be something watching, waiting. If you're ever near Slidell, Louisiana, take a swamp tour, bring bug spray, keep your eyes on the water, and listen for the rustle of something too big to be an alligator. All right, Juniper, I'm ready to book a swamp tour, but I'm not sure I'd sleep after it. This thing feels like it's staring at us from the shadows. What's your take? Ready to hunt for those glowing eyes?
Matt, I'm sticking to the studio where it's safe and dry.
Nah.
But I gotta say, those footprints and that footage, they're giving me goosebumps.
Right.
Shall we wrap this one up?
You got it, Juniper. Let's send it to you for the sign-off.
And that's a wrap on episode 185 of The Shadow Frequency, where we ventured into the murky depths of the Honey Island swamp monster. From glowing eyes to webbed footprints, this Louisiana legend has us questioning what's really lurking in those cypress shadows. Is it a lost primate, a cursed spirit, or something we'll never understand? Thanks for joining us on this creepy journey, listeners. If you got your own swampy tales, send them the Shadow Podcast to protonmail.com or hit us up on Facebook. Matt, say goodbye to the folks.
Night, everyone. Watch out for those yellow eyes.
Sweet dreams, or maybe not. Until next time, keep tuning into the Shadow Frequency, where the unknown is always just a whisper away.
This episode was produced with a commitment to exploring the unexplained while grounding our discussion in documented discoveries. All interpretations are speculative and intended for entertainment purposes.